Okay, good. So, jap. Eh,
We
slow.
are live.
Yeah, we are live now. Can you see it on your side?
Yeah, I can see it. I can see it.
All right. Okay. Good afternoon, everybody. Nazriq here, and we are live with the Nazriq Ahmad Show. And today, as promised, our special guest is Aiman Azlan.
Yo, what up?
Yo. So it's been quite a while, Aiman. How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. Thanks for having me.
So are you at home now, your office, or
I am at an office, not
oh,
my
I know.
office. So I'm in Alostar right now.
Oh, Alastar.
I rented a co-working space here in Alostar. It's called Tree Co-working Space. TRE, Tree
Oh,
Co-working Space.
TRE. Okay.
So you can actually meet me lah if you're in Alostar. So
Okay.
I'm here every day, Monday to Thursday.
And how far is that from your place in Perlis?
Pooh! 40
Wait,
minutes,
put
45 minutes away.
45 minutes. Oh my God. How do you manage that?
Yeah.
I mean, the traffic. How's the traffic like from Perlis to Alastar?
Oh, come on. I mean, if most of your audience are KL people, traffic is nothing lah sini. I mean,
Ah.
you don't even call it traffic.
Oh, I mean, so KL is crazier than Nila Alastar to Perlis, lah, basically.
Yeah. I mean, the traffic's smooth, everything's fine. We don't have like bumper to bumper ke apa ke. Very rare lah. Kalau berlaku tu, it's
Oh,
like
okay.
a rare occasion lah.
All right. So yeah, speaking of managing that, so one thing I want to talk about today is about time management. All right,
Yeah.
and yeah, we were chatting about things you do in the car. So give us your take on time management. Okay, let's talk about yourself first. Your from your description here, you do three very different things. You're an international youth speaker.
Yep.
You're a best-selling author, and you're a father. And these are three things that are not easy to juggle and balance. So how do you do that?
Well,
That's kind
the
of
first
mouthful,
thing,
right?
the first thing that everybody should understand is that you don't manage your time overnight.
Mm,
So it's a process that takes a lot of trials, a lot of errors, and you need to update your time management from time to time, so to
mm,
speak. My time management right now works for me, Alhamdulillah, but I'm not going to claim
Alhamdulillah.
that it's the perfect system yet. But it works. It works.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just a matter of realizing how many things you have on your plate,
Mm-hmm.
and then have a realistic view of whether or not you can handle all those things. So it's a balance between how much you take and how much you can handle. So you
Mm-hmm.
can't say yes to everything. Obviously, you need a focus. Like, what do you want to do? What
Ah,
do you
okay.
want to do? Which is actually a question that not a lot of people can answer. Nazrik.
Oh,
Like
I was about to
if
ask that. Like, how do you focus?
like if you ask students what do you want, I
Mm-hmm.
mean, I can safely assume that many of them say, no, I don't know, no, I don't know,
Oh, yeah.
which is which is not good, because the first thing you want to
Mhm.
establish before you manage your time is what to do with your time.
Ah, what to do? So
Yeah,
what?
so with your time, you have 24 hours in a day just like everybody else, but
Mm-hmm.
but what do you want to achieve? That's
Ah,
the first question. What do you want to achieve? But a
ah,
lot of students don't even know what their goals are, which is a
ah.
problem.
Mm-hmm.
So you can't start talking about time management if you don't know what your time is for.
Mm-hmm. True, true.
So, like for me, I know that okay, my focus is on the youth, my focus is on confidence, psychology. So I know my focus.
Mm-hmm.
Even though it sounds like a lot if you list them down, but
Mm-hmm.
really if you look at it from a bird's eye view, they're all related. Like my speaking job, my writing job, my video making job, they're all part of one particular category, and well you call it like motivation lah.
Ah, right, right.
So that's my focus. So that's what I've been doing with all of these variations of my work, is just give people motivation. That's my focus.
Mm-hmm. So how do you connect all these fields? Because one thing about time management is that people normally feel anxious because like, oh, I have to do this and this is something very different. But when I like how you mentioned that, oh, you find the connection between all that. So how do you do that, Iman?
Oh, yeah. All right. So basically, what I think, and this is my mistake back in the day juga nih, the thing about your time
Mm-hmm.
is people think that they have to do something. They have to do this. They have to do this. They have to do this. This is the mistake that we do with scheduling. If you notice,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of people, students, the reason why they don't want to do schedule is because they don't want to be tied up.
Mm-hmm.
They want to be free, for example, right? But that's a wrong way of looking at schedule. Schedule is actually a way to be free
Ah, oh, whoa! Schedule's a way to be free. That's an interesting
because
view.
really, really, yes, because without schedule, you are trapped in the unknown
Oh.
because you don't know what to do in the day. So you wake up in the morning, you be like, okay, what do I do today? You might
Mm-hmm.
think that as a free option. It's not. Barry Schwartz, Dr. Barry Schwartz, I think, he
Oh,
talks
Barry
about
Schwartz. Yeah, yeah.
the paradox of choice. It's on
Okay.
YouTube. It's on YouTube. You can watch his YouTube TED Talk punya take on it. So
Yeah, yeah.
basically, if you have too many choices,
Mm-hmm.
you'll get stuck.
All right, all right.
You actually get paralyzed into not doing anything of value
Mm-hmm.
because you have too much choice, which is counterintuitive. We think that, oh, lagi banyak choice lagi bagus lah.
Mm-hmm.
But in actuality, you don't need as many choices as you think you need. You just need a few choices and
Mm-hmm.
you need to make a decision based on those few choices. So a schedule is you looking at all these choices that you have and focusing on a few choices that you want.
Mm-hmm.
A few choices that you want. So really, a schedule is not you trapping yourself in a prison.
Mm-hmm.
A schedule is you designing a day that you want,
Mm-hmm. Oh,
which
designing
is
a day that you want. Wow, that's a very nice statement there.
which is a very liberating thing to think about.
Uh-huh.
So it's schedule ni dia ada bad press lah, bad marketing. Orang yang
Mm-hmm.
schedule ni
Macam
poyo
kekang semua
poyo
kan.
kekang, aku terus terkongkong.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you rasa terkongkong because number one, somebody else is making that schedule for you, patutlah.
Mm-hmm.
And number two, you're not living your own goal. You're living somebody else's goal.
Ah, that's a nice point of view there, Aiman.
Wonder you feel trapped.
Because it's not our goal, right? Someone else's goal. Okay, okay.
Yeah, so time is yours, okay? Because you are responsible for your time. So you have to decide lah, what do I want to do with my time?
Okay.
24 hours. Everybody has the same time.
True, true. It's a very refreshing take on schedules because normally when we are taught to make schedules, we're taught to limit things, we're taught to confine things, and then suddenly you're talking about freedom. So how did you arrive at this revelation?
Uh, well, it's not more of a revelation lah. You have to read the right things and follow the right people lah.
Mm-hmm.
So if you, well, I have to be transparent. I actually take this idea from Dr. Jordan Peterson, which is a professor of psychology at University of Toronto, my university where I used to
Oh,
study. So he actually introduced this idea, and I took it and I implement it in my own life. So
all
it
right.
works. It
Dr.
works.
Jordan Peterson, Dr. Jordan Peterson, yeah.
Jordan Peterson. Yeah, you got it right.
Ah,
Yeah.
okay, good.
Psychology professor, University of Toronto. So
All
he
right.
explained the idea of a schedule. Why do we need a schedule, and what is a schedule for?
All
So that
right.
that idea pushes the old idea in me that schedule is like very kekang, very kong kan.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a different idea. Another thing that I noticed is that this is another person, Jocko Willink. Jocko Willink, he was a military guy. He
Oh,
was a military guy. He was
Jocko,
in the
what?
SEAL.
That's a French name,
Jocko,
right? Jacque, right?
Jocko, Jocko.
Oh, Gocko, Jocko.
Yeah, Willick, Willick.
CK. Okay, interesting name. So what does he do?
Yes,
Jocko, what does he do?
he was in this marine. This is US punya military lah.
Aha, okay, okay, okay.
So he was a high ranking officer, but now he's doing consultancy and also doing a lot of like motivation work lah,
Mm-hmm.
based off of his experience. He said that having discipline will set you free,
Ah, all right.
which is another thing that we miss we misteach our youth.
Yeah, because we normally
When you
see
talk
that.
about discipline, kita rasa macam Allah, aku tak boleh
Oh, macam tu.
I can't be myself, I can't be free. But really, if you have self-discipline and you manage your time well, you
Mm-hmm.
actually end up with more time
Oh, okay. How does that
because
work?
because you spend less time
You spend less time what? I think this.
wasting.
Oh, wasting. Oh, okay, okay. Interesting.
Okay, let me give you an example. If I give you 10,000 ringgit, but then you think to yourself, it's okay, no need to plan, just spend the money. Trust me,
Mm.
within a month, maybe a week, that money is gone
Oh.
because you do not plan how to use that resource. Time is the
Mm-hmm.
same thing.
Okay.
Allah gave you 24 hours, just like everybody else. But
Mm-hmm.
if you don't plan it, that time will go somewhere and tiba-tiba you rasa macam, dah maghrib dah. So
Oh,
you
okay.
rasa, and then if by the end of the day you rasa macam, apa aku buat hari ni ya, then you're
Mm-hmm.
not doing your time, using your time well.
Oh, wow, wow. This is like mind blowing because it's something so simple that we've been doing all this while, but it,
Yo.
it seems like we're all doing it, wrongly or differently all this while to cut. Wow, wow, okay.
So when you plan your time, you manage your time well, you end
Uh-huh.
up with more time because you spend less time wasting. Another thing that I like to tell students lah, especially
Uh-huh.
when they talk about time management, is I tell them to track your time. Like I
Mm.
did this exercise with this
Track your
one
time.
student club in one university. I'm not gonna tell you which university,
All
but
right.
this student club complained to me that they don't have enough time to
Uh-huh.
do student club work and
Oh,
studying.
that's kind of weird.
Right, so they're in this student club
Uh-huh.
and they have to do the club work, right?
Uh-huh.
Like managing events and so on, and then they have to study because they're still students. So they
Mm-hmm.
tell me I don't have enough time to do both.
Mm-hmm.
So I say, okay, let's sit down and let us like write down your time.
Mm.
Okay, so we go over all the basic things that you do in a day, like how much time you spend sleeping, how much time you spend entertaining, how much time you spend work exercising, how much time you spend eating, how much time you spend studying, how much time. And to make it short, what we ended up realizing is that they spend more time wasting
Whoa.
than doing work. So it's
Okay.
not like they don't have enough time. It's just that they don't have enough organized time.
Ah, so organized quality time you mean here.
Yeah, like for example, right? Sleeping. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
I asked them a simple question: how much sleep do you need?
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm not gonna give like, okay, scientifically speaking. No, how
Scientific.
how much how much sleep do you need?
All right, all
Okay,
right.
I'm a guy who considers individual personality. So if you
Mm.
need 5 hours, okay, we go with 5 hours. If you need eight, we go with eight.
Okay.
So on average, like students, on this particular case, on average, we figured out, okay, you need like 5 to 6 hours sleep,
Mm-hmm.
realistically speaking.
All right.
All right, so 6 hours of sleep, okay, that's 24 hours minus six. Now you have how much time left. All right, now let's go over your social media schedule. How much time you spend on your phone?
Whoa.
Ini yang buat orang macam,
Ooh.
okay, tak pernah pula aku kira.
Kira berapa lama dia guna kan?
But really, once you go into it, then you realize, alamak, 3 jam dalam phone, empat
Terbazir
jam,
kan?
4 jam dalam phone. And then I ask, how much time do you need studying? Itu pun ada student yang macam, alamak, tak pernah terfikir pula. Tak pernah terfikir? You student kot.
Ah, all right.
So how much time do you need studying? So
Mm-hmm.
I always ask the question in an open way. I don't like determine how much time you need. I ask you, how much time do you need?
So you make
You
them think
say,
for themselves how to plan the schedule.
because you have to understand different people, different style, different
True, true.
lifestyle, different personality. So you can't dictate this thing on them. They need to figure it out themselves.
Mm-hmm.
So they figure, okay, 2 hours, 3 hours, and then we go over, you go over, and then suddenly tiba-tiba, you actually have 3 hours in a day
Mm-hmm.
yang kosong.
Oh.
And dia terkejut macam, oi, betul juga because they never plan it out.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the idea, you see. When you plan your time, you'll be more free.
Oh, all right. This is a very interesting approach because all this while, oh, speaking of the whole variety and style, we got a question from Walls Killer here. So, in planning our time, do we have to make a schedule on paper or can we just plan it in our head? Because I'm the kind of flexible going guy. Ooh. And then Narwhalism here says that best and works when you write it down. What's your take on this, Aiman?
Write it down.
Ooh.
Always write it down. I don't mean like pen or paper. Write it down on your phone. Write it down on your laptop. But write it down. As
Mm-hmm.
flexible as you think you are, you
Mm-hmm.
cannot rely on just imagine what the schedule looks like. You have to write it down. Trust
Mm-hmm.
me, I was the kind of guy who planned in my head.
Ah.
I was that guy.
And then
But
why
then
did you
but
change?
then I switched because I suddenly realized kat mana masa aku pergi.
Oh.
Because when you leave things in your head, it remains abstract,
Mm-hmm.
and you have no way of measuring, like concretely. You don't have a way of measuring though.
So you don't see it on something, right?
You don't see it, so you have to write it down. And
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to dictate how you write it down, on
Mm-hmm.
paper ke, in Google Calendar ke. You have your own style. Like for me, I put it on my Google Calendar, so I have it
Ah,
from
okay.
the morning until I end my work day. Okay, I have my schedule done.
Mm-hmm.
So when I open my Google Calendar, I see in one sweep, this is my day, this is what I want my day to be.
Mm-hmm.
It's different than imagining it tau.
All right, all right.
That's why if I show you money
Mm-hmm.
and you imagine money, is it the same thing?
Oh, it's different. You'll be tempted by seeing it.
Showing you money
Show me the
has
money.
has more motivation, right?
Yeah, yeah.
If I literally wave money in front of you, there's a
Mm.
different motivation than if you just imagine there's a lot of money in front of me right
Maybe I
now.
should wave it now. Like, okay, money, money. Okay, never mind.
So it's understanding human psychology juga sebenarnya, and understanding
Oh.
your own psychology. I know that you think that you're flexible, you can go with the flow,
Mm-hmm.
but really at some point you kena macam stop sabotaging yourself.
Mm-hmm.
You have to just mengaku je lah yang you can't just wing this, and you can't just imagine this. You have to
Ah.
plan it down concretely on paper.
So
We
can we
have to.
so can we say that ego can get in the way in planning sometimes?
Yeah, that's fair.
Mm-hmm.
That's fair assessment. Ego can get in the way. Well, when you think to yourself, I don't need a schedule. I'm fine. It's partly ego, partly denial,
Mm-hmm.
because I understand it's not easy to hear somebody say you're wasting your time.
Ooh, that hurts.
That hurts, right? That hurts.
Yeah.
But sometimes you just because it's painful doesn't mean that you should not hear it.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you need to hear those painful things, because that pain can
Mm-hmm.
be a motivation for you to not feel that pain again.
The pain can be a motivation to not feel pain. Okay, all right, all right.
So because you feel that pain, that
Mm-hmm.
shame, whatever you want to call it,
Mm-hmm.
that motivates you to remove that pain by changing your state
Ah,
so that you don't feel that shame again.
okay, that is an interesting point of view because a lot of people, especially in our culture, they want to avoid as much as possible. They don't want to feel it, and then they end up actually feeling it. But you're going the opposite way. Like you go through it so that you be motivated not to go through it. So wow, this is something fresh for all of us, I think.
Exactly. But I understand, Nazri. I understand why people want to avoid it. It's
Mm-hmm.
natural. It's logical. Who wants to feel pain?
Nobody.
Nobody, right? Nobody. It's logical. It's natural.
Mm-hmm.
However, here's the thing that's different between animals and humans. Animals will follow that. It's painful,
Ah.
run away. It's painful, run away. It's scary, run away.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I'm not calling human being animals, but what I'm saying is that
It's
we have
nature lah.
we have that animal brain inside of us.
Uh-huh.
Okay, this is not me trying to merendah-rendahkan manusia.
Mm-hmm.
Though this is something sunnatullah. We
Yeah.
have it in our
The
brain. If
component
you,
of our mind, right?
yeah,
Our
if you
animal nature and our human nature. Yeah, yeah.
they call it the lizard brain, they call it the reptilian brain, but you have it inside of you. But
Mm-hmm.
human beings have something extra. The
Ah,
the top layer of your brain is actually something
akal.
that animals don't have.
Yeah, yeah.
The
So true.
neocortex. Neo means new.
Mm-hmm.
Neocortex. That's the part where you do a lot of your executive
The
thinking. That
decision
thinking,
making, semua.
exactly. That thinking can override your animal nature yang nak react, lari daripada benda-benda menakutkan or menyakitkan tu.
So that means you have one part in your brain telling you that, oh, I want this, but then there's another part that can say that it like rationalizes, oh, maybe I shouldn't
Yeah.
do this. Oh, okay, okay.
Exactly. Yeah, you get it. Yeah, yeah. So just because you want something doesn't mean it's good for you.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't mean just because you hate something doesn't mean it's bad for you.
All right, all right.
Animals don't have this.
They
They don't.
just go for it.
Yeah, I hate it, therefore it's bad for me.
All right.
Animals, simple, very simple, right?
Uh-huh.
But for human beings, we have this very minute distinction
Uh-huh.
where we can actually override that decision, saying
Mm-hmm.
that yes, it's painful,
Mm-hmm.
but I need to experience it
Oh,
because it's good for me in the end.
okay.
So, yeah, this is something that people in therapy.
Mm-hmm.
This is why people go to therapy.
What kind of therapy are you referring to? Is it psychological therapy or therapy in general or what?
Psychological therapy, yeah, I would say, yeah,
Mm, okay.
psychological therapy, because they voluntarily want to face the thing that they're most scared of,
Okay,
because
okay.
they know deep down they have to,
You have
and
to
they
deal
want,
with it.
and they want to, because otherwise they can't move on.
Mm-hmm.
It's not easy, it's difficult, but as human beings you can override that decision and make the harder decision to actually face your demons lah,
Face it. Yeah, that's a very cool
face.
term there. All right. So how do you find the whole therapy thing? Because like in Malaysia, I mean, the awareness of seeking help and going for therapy is still on the low. And you're doing your
Yeah.
masters in counseling right now, right? From what I understand.
Yeah, I'm doing part-time master's degree in counseling right now. Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, you're talking about therapy, and you're also juggling a lot of time there. Not easy balancing. Okay, you're a master student. You have your international youth speaker thing going on. All your academy thing. You have what else? You have your books going on. Do you have a new book on the way, by the way, or
I have a new book on the way. Yes, yes. Inshallah,
wow?
in this year's Pesta Buku Kuala Lumpur, it will be launched. I hope. I hope. So I can't say that as a certainty yet, but I'm trying
Wow,
to
cool,
produce
cool.
that book.
Congratulations, man. That
Yeah.
that's not easy when you have all that on your plate.
Yeah. But it looks amazing, but really when you dissect it out,
Uh-huh.
dissect it and analyze it, it all boils down to the minutes and the hours. That's
Mm.
it. It all boils down to the minutes and the hours. Simple.
All right. So back to therapy. So what do you think about oh yeah, narwhalism say and family? Yeah, family plays an important role. What do you think about that, Aiman? Does family play an important
Yeah.
role as well in support and management?
Well, family doesn't play an important role. Family is the important role.
I like that. Can I quote you on that? Family is the important role
Yeah, sure.
because
Because when you listen to what people regret most before they die,
mm-hmm.
one of it is not spending enough time with family.
Oh
Really,
man,
really,
the
like
feels, the
I don't
feels.
know, if it's a documentary ke buku ke apa ke, but I think I think people compile quote like regrets of people on their deathbeds.
Oh yeah, yeah. I've read that before. I've read
I
about
can't.
it.
Yeah, right. So on the deathbed, usually people will tell you the things
Mm-hmm.
that they regret, and they don't say, "Oh, I regret not having more money. I regret not doing that business venture."
Mm-hmm.
Usually, they regret things that we take for granted, though.
Mm-hmm.
Like I regret not saying I love you to my wife.
Oh.
I regret not holding my hand, son. I regret not going home over the weekend to visit my parents. Those little thing yang kita macam tak apalah minggu depan boleh. On the
Mm.
deathbed, itu yang orang akan sebut.
Wow, the feels, man.
So it's true that death puts life in perspective. It's really true.
Mhm. And it's interesting you mentioned that because you look at a lot of careers today, it's like a lot of careers, the expectation is, family later, focus on your work first. Some bosses even do that. And you see more and more people getting into depression and anxiety disorder and more people seeking for therapy because of this thing. Or now we're linking the whole topic together, kan?
Yeah, yeah,
The
yeah.
lack of
I
time
see that.
management, then family goes haywire, and then you go for therapy. So what's your comment on this about how
Uh,
materialistic life is these days?
I'm not against materialism as one fact of life.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just against materialism as a way of life.
Ah.
So what that means is that you have to have your priorities straight. You
Mm-hmm.
really need to have your priorities straight. And it ties up to how you spend your time as well, because your time is a reflection of your priorities.
Mm-hmm.
Because you're gonna spend more time on things that you find more important.
Mm-hmm.
Or to put it in a better way, you're gonna spend more quality time on
Ah.
on things that you find more important. Because sometimes it's not about the quantity, it's about the quality. Like for
True,
example,
true.
family. Obviously, realistically speaking, you can't spend 24 hours with your family.
Yeah,
You
you
can't.
wish you want to, but you
You
can't,
wish,
right?
but you can't. So because you gotta go to work, you gotta earn money, you have to
Mm-hmm.
support your family. So those things are not, those things do not, apa panggil,
Mm-hmm.
nullify the importance of family or work. It's just a part of life. Just a
Mm-hmm.
part of life.
All right,
What
all
you need
right.
what you need to do is you need to invest in more quality time with your family. What does that mean, practically speaking? What it means is that when your work ends, make sure your work ends.
Ah,
When you punch out, you really punch out.
true,
Don't
true.
be like punching out and then bring your work home in some way, physically or emotionally or psychologically. you
Uh-huh.
leave you leave work at where work is.
In the
you go home
office.
you go home that's where your
Uh-huh.
family is. So make sure you know the location of each, and make sure you know how you are in each situation. I'm not saying
Mm-hmm.
that I'm perfect in this. I'm trying my best to make sure this happens more often. So I try my best to, when it's family time, it's family time. So
Yeah.
I try to look at my phone less.
Mm-hmm.
So like when we're eating right now, we have a rule in our house that we established: when we're eating, phones away,
Mm-hmm.
which is not easy, by the way. It
Yeah, because we rely so much on
looks
phones these
easy.
days.
Yeah, so when we're eating, phones away, and then on the bed, we try phones away. So things, small things like that, just to focus more on quality family time.
Mm-hmm.
What do I mean by quality family time? Practically speaking, because we use that terms a lot, right? But practically speaking, what does it mean? Well, if you have a child,
Mm-hmm.
it means practically you look at your child in the eye. When was the last time you do that? Yeah, really like eye to eye punya conversation.
Well, I don't have a child though, but
You
that's
don't
a
have a child, you can relate to your parents,
that's a nice one. That's a nice one.
right?
Oh, the
It,
the
it's
feels, the feels, the feels.
so when was the last time you have, let's not go overboard lah, 5 minutes of good quality eye to
Proper
eye
one.
conversation with your parents ke, or with your wife, with your husband, with your child, with your children. Kalau your child kecil lagi, it's okay, look at them in the eye.
Mm-hmm.
Look at them in the eye. And this is something that I practiced a lot when my son was below 2 years old, because
Mm-hmm.
he doesn't move around a lot.
Uh-huh.
Right? That
Yeah, it's easier to focus on
below
him.
2. What I usually do is sometimes,
Uh-huh.
when I'm reminded to focus on my son, I look at him in the eyeball,
Oh, in the eyeball terus. Okay.
such that I can see myself.
Ah, you see a
That's
reflection.
that's how close that I look at my
Wow.
son. And it's something that nampak macam alamak, romantiknya, but it's actually, there's a practical wisdom in it tau.
Mm-hmm.
When you look at human beings eye to eye,
Mm-hmm.
bond happen.
Ah.
There's this weird thing that not weird lah kan, but it's a thing that humans have. When you look at somebody eye to eye, you
Mm-hmm.
can actually grow more, you can grow fonder of each other.
Oh, okay.
There's an interesting experiment that says that if you look at a stranger for eye to eye, like for 4 minutes ke apa ke, you can start to like feel liking for that person. A stranger, look at the eye.
Wow. Just look at
No,
them.
no need to talk, whatever. You can search on YouTube. Ada Soul Pancake did this experiment where you just look without talking, no introduction, just look at eye to eye.
Okay, okay.
That alone pun will help in like creating that useful bond though. So that's what it means to have quality time,
Mm-hmm.
to not only just be there physically like in the same room, but to interact in some way. It doesn't have to be 1 hour, just 5-10 minutes a day pun can make a difference juga sebenarnya.
Like you make the commitment basically, right? You put your soul into it
Yeah,
basically.
yeah. Especially today, when it becomes harder and harder to like focus on important stuff because we have so many noise around. It's crucial lah to hold on to that little bits of
Uh,
little bits of important things that we still have.
oh, dari mata turun ke hati. Oh, that's a very cheesy term we have in the chat right
It's
now.
it it's cheesy,
But it's so true. It's so
but
true.
there's a great point in that. I mean, the Malays, have this all these sayings that I think it comes from that practical wisdom
Uh-huh.
yang kita lost in some way in our modern life. If you
Oh
look at all the
man.
sayings, that we have, like melepaskan batuk di tangga, harapkan
Mm-hmm.
pagar-pagar makan padi,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
sikit-sikit lama-lama jadi bukit, bersenang-senang dahulu.
Susah-susah dulu, senang-senang
Oh,
kemudian.
silap. Sorry. Ya. Berenang-renang ke hulu, berakit-rakit ke hulu, berenang-renang ke tepian.
Something like a
Bers-
hilir or something, right?
Bersusah, bersusah-susah dahulu, bersenang-senang kemudian.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
all those things. If you look at it closely, it comes from observation,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like harapkan pagar is actually a bird tau.
Pegar
Harapkan
kan
pagar.
patutnya.
Yeah,
Burung
we change
pegar.
it to pagar at some point. So it actually comes from an observation. You observe the birds and then you use it as a metaphor for life.
Mm-hmm. Ooh.
Melepaskan batuk di tangga. Batuk is the pail that you use to
Yeah, yeah.
wash your feet before you enter the house, and you just lepaskan by the tangga. You don't put it in the right place.
Mm-hmm.
It's a metaphor for life. Metaphor requires observation.
Ah, all right, all right.
Observation requires attention.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we lack. We lack attention. We don't pay attention to the important
Yeah,
stuff.
we just let
So
things pass and all that, right?
yeah,
Oh
especially when it
man.
comes to like family, we don't pay attention to family. Tahu-tahu anak dah besar dah.
Oh my God, that's so sad when that happens. It reminds me of a story somebody shared that, I think earlier today or last week, somebody shared that, that they couldn't have enough time with the child. That already 1 year passed. Just like that. Too busy
Yeah.
with work. Oh,
It's
speak.
true, and I'm totally guilty of it. Like sometimes I don't realize, oh, anak aku dah 3 tahun lebih dah.
Oh, now we have a nice question from. Oh yeah. Oh my God, that's 3 years. So that's quite some time, man.
Yeah.
All right, we have a question here from Normalism. So how do we block that effectively, especially when there's deadlines and high expectations? Like for example, in time management, kan, the thing
Yeah.
is we want to make time, but because of this thing, our phone here now, our
Mm.
bosses are entering our private domain, like WhatsApp group for work and all that. So yeah,
Yeah.
how do you block that off and not bring the work to home? How do we do that?
Well, I can't speak for everybody, but for me, you have to draw the line lah.
Mm-hmm.
You have to draw the line. Yeah. I understand your boss. I understand your work and everything. Yeah, I get that. But you have to draw a line.
Mm-hmm.
Just because you work for your boss doesn't mean your boss owns you. You
Ah.
have to understand that. And I don't mean this in any disrespectful way for all the bosses out there. No,
Mm-hmm.
no disrespect. But this is just a reality of life. And bosses should understand that all your employees have other commitments.
Mm-hmm.
You should understand that they have other commitments. It's not just you who have commitments. Your employees ada komitmen lain juga. So you
Mm-hmm.
have to like respect their space. They have a space for work and they have the space for family. And actually, there's a growing movement where employers are realizing this, and it actually affects their work performance juga. Bila you
Mm-hmm.
mula kacau their family life, you akan indirectly kacau their work punya performance.
And the quality of work as well, kan?
Exactly. Like happy employee, happy companies, things like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you have to really know the line. So there's a line where your boss cannot cross, and you as an employee, you should demand that when your boss cross the line. You can't
True.
be like, alah, dia boss aku nak macam mana. Ya, dia boss engkau, yeah, but
Yeah.
that doesn't mean that he can do or she can do anything that he likes or she likes.
Oh.
So you have to draw that line lah. And how do you block that time effectively? It's different from different people. I'm not like dictating what
Mm-hmm.
works best for you. So like I said, for me, it takes a lot of like experimenting now, a
Mm.
lot of practice, a lot of trials, a lot of errors. But you need to start somewhere. That's the thing. You can't be like, okay, aku tak pernah buat jadual seumur hidup aku, and tiba-tiba hari ni nak buat the perfect jadual. It's not going to happen. It's not going. If you're
It
not
needs
used to
time.
yeah, if you're not used to scheduling, it's okay. That's how we start anything. We start with zero. So you
Mm-hmm.
start with an estimation dulu. Okay, you estimate je, tak apa, and then just try it out. Try it out for a week, and then review it and see. Okay, you kena modify sikit sini, modify sikit sini, adapt sini, adapt sini. That's how you learn.
Mm-hmm. Wow. We went to really deep topics. Now we're talking about time management and talking about life and all that. But yeah, I guess you can say that materialism has kind of changed the way we work. And like, not to say materialism is bad. I mean, it does help us have goals in some sort. But when we
Yeah,
make that like the ultimate goal of life, unfortunately, what happens is that even employers tend to have unreasonable demands. Kan? Like
yeah, I
in
understand
a
that.
way it becomes more like a modern day slavery in to a certain extent, I guess. You become slave to the jobs and slave to money more than serving the family and all that, which is kind of
Yeah.
sad.
It's interesting that you mentioned that because it relates to the book that I'm reading right now. So let me
Oh,
just show
what
show
books
to the
is
camera. Nampak ke? Nampak ke?
yeah, I can see that. I think I've read that book, which is why I'm actually mentioning it.
Yeah. So this is a book for people who do business. However, if you don't do business pun you boleh baca juga
Mm-hmm.
as a way for you to understand priorities in life. So in this book, it's called Company of One. What the author basically saying, the basic gist of the book is that you need to determine
Mm-hmm.
what is enough for you.
Ah.
You cannot pursue anything in life without a goal that says, okay, this is it, this is enough.
Mm.
Material goal, basically what I
Basically
mean.
the
I'm
standard
not
you mean here, right?
yeah, I'm not talking about spiritual goal. Spiritual goal, you go crazy.
Oh, okay.
But material goal, you have to set what is enough for me. So in this book, well, it's great because he's a business guy and he has experienced that business life where his company is growing and growing and growing. And
Mm-hmm.
so he experienced that, but then what he also experienced is less time with family.
Ah, okay.
So that's why he changed his whole outlook. So he just quit his job and then started his own business, and then he create an idea whereby, okay, my business doesn't have to be big without limit.
Mm.
That's the materialism that you talk about. Materialism as a way of life.
Ah.
So he determines, okay, I only need this amount of money, and then I don't need more. I don't need more. And that goes along with the kind of lifestyle that you choose for yourself. You don't need a lavish lifestyle. I just need this to feel enough, to be free,
Mm-hmm.
financially free, and just to be happy.
True.
I don't need like a yacht. I don't need like a penthouse apartment. I don't need it. It's nice. It's
Uh-huh.
nice to have. It's not wrong. I just don't need it. And there's also a psychological study where they see the effects of money and like
Yeah.
basic contentment, like
Ah,
happiness,
so money
happiness.
does affect happiness level to a certain extent then.
Yeah, I mean, you need money. Let's let's
Yeah.
let's be real lah. You need money, but how much money do you need? So that's the question.
Ah, true, true. We get
We're
blinded
not
by
we're
it
not
sometimes, kan?
we're not saying that you don't need money. We're just asking how much money do you need. So this study found, and this is all another thing that I borrow from Dr. Jordan Peterson, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
So he explained that you only need money enough so that you don't have crippling debt, and you don't have
Ah,
people asking you, where's my money, where's my money, like people like asking you to pay the bills and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You need enough money to make sure that all those people stay away from you. They don't bother you.
Oh,
So you
so
need enough money to pay the bills for the electricity, to pay the bills for the water, to pay the bills for the food, to pay the bills for like any type of positive debt that you have.
mhm.
Enough money for that. Beyond that, it doesn't make any difference to your happiness level. No, any difference, no difference at all.
Wow, wow. Yeah, the thing is, a lot of people get blinded by the numbers and all that kan, and then unfortunately society tends to judge like, oh gaji kau berapa, oh banyak sikit ni je, banyak ni, oh people tend to become very, not to say money minded, but very number minded. People think that big numbers equals the best, big numbers equals, it's to a point where sometimes people judge, oh big salary, you're of a high class, low salary. So what are your comments on this?
Oh yeah, yeah, I get that, I get that. I mean, even for me like kan, I don't have like a usual 9 to 5 job, so it's quite a challenge lah to convince my parents and my in-laws that I actually have a real job.
Oh, yeah, like
So
like
yeah,
your
yeah,
job is
yeah.
not real now.
Like now I'm okay lah, now
Uh-huh.
okay lah, but in the beginning because they're not used to the idea.
Ah,
All of my family members have that like 9 to 5 job yang biasa-biasa, job yang you consider to be the traditional definition of a job,
mm-hmm.
where you punch in punch out, you get your salary by the end of the month kind of job,
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
right? But I don't follow that route. So for me in my family it's a weird thing because nobody in our family does this, so you're the first one. So
Mm-hmm.
it has a level of skepticism in my family, but not now lah, this is before.
Uh-huh.
So you have to prove that you have a
That's
job
good. That's
basically.
good.
So what ended up happening was that I determined my own expectation for myself based on what I know to be my capabilities.
Mm-hmm.
That's the thing that a lot of people don't have, and they get affected by people's expectations
Ah,
because they don't have their own expectation.
because oftentimes they don't even know what they have to offer sometimes, right? Or they don't really know themselves, I can say.
Yeah, yeah. And also coming back to the original thing that we mentioned in the beginning, they don't know what they want.
True, true.
So it all boils down to these basic questions. What do you want to do with your life? What do you want to do with your time? Because you're here for a very short period of time. 60 years is nothing.
Mm.
60 years is nothing if you compare to the lifespan of the earth, for example. 60 years is nothing. You're a dot in
Yeah.
this time frame. But you can do a lot with that dot.
Mm-hmm.
You can achieve a lot with that dot. That 60 years could have a lasting impact beyond your lifespan.
True, true.
But you have to ask, what do I want to use my time for?
Ah.
That's the basic premise of our discussion today. That's the basic premise of time management. You first have to figure out what your time is for.
Mm. Okay, okay.
So
So,
once you figure that out, the rest is like one by one, level by level, you figure out to the top. But you need to focus on the foundation first.
if the foundation is not strong, then you can't even plan basic stuff, right?
Yeah, yeah. Then you become victims of the flow. People say go
Ah.
with the flow, go with the flow. I get it, I get it. It is a very intriguing proposition to
Mm.
go with the flow. Very cool, very chic. I just go with the flow.
Go with the
I'm not
flow,
tied.
y'all.
I'm not tied to anything. But really, what it translates to is that you don't have a goal in your life.
Oh,
You don't have a. You just live for the sake of living. And you might think to yourself, oh, that's good enough. But in the long run, it's not. You can't just live for the sake of living. You gotta have meaning in your life.
yeah, you're gonna ask yourself like, what did I do with all those time, kan?
Because it's going to end up like on the deathbed, you're going to regret something, right?
Mm-hmm.
Everybody have regrets on the deathbed. But the goal is to have the least amount of regrets possible
Oh, that's a nice
on
one.
on your deathbed. So you have to
Wow.
think about it now. And it's not like a grim picture or like death, death. No, it's a positive picture. It's a positive picture because that's the motivation that you want to achieve. The motivation is that when I'm dying, I want the least amount of regrets possible.
You want to make it as happy as an ending as possible, basically, right?
Yeah, yeah, and it starts now. It starts now. So you have to really ask yourself that basic question. Then you know how to manage your time.
Oh.
especially for young people who's listening, your students, like university students. I mean,
Mhm.
that's the prime time for you to find your purpose in life. Really, that's prime time for you
Yeah.
to find your purpose. And if you don't end up finding it, it's okay. Keep on searching.
Yeah, because everyone has different timelines juga kan.
Yeah, I mean, I found my purpose when I was like second year university.
Wow, okay.
I was in university when I found it, and some people think that that's too late.
Hmm.
I know a friend who found his purpose back in secondary school.
Whoa, that's so early.
Secondary school, even to this day, as we speak, he's still doing the same thing that he said he's gonna do.
Wow, that's a lot of commitment there.
He knows what he wants to do. He knows some people are that early, some people are later. Like at that time, I was in secondary school, but like, aku tak tahu nak buat apa, aku tak tahu. So I'm just searching and searching and searching. And while you're searching, you have to be open to experience. You have to try this, try that, try this, try that. And you have to be okay with failing. It's okay.
Ah. So what are
Then you
you
know.
what are your advices to people who are scared of failing? Because I don't know with with how education has been for a long time, we've kind of been prepped that failing equals bad and success equals good. But people don't realize that failure is actually the recipe for success. So any personal
Uh,
experience you want to share here in helping people or stuff like that?
well, I have failed,
Oh,
obviously. Not all of my subjects are A's. Not all of my business ventures are success.
oh, okay.
But the thing about people is that they don't see failures.
Mm.
Like take any successful people that you find to be successful. Anyone. Pick anyone. Pick anyone from the population. Anyone.
Uh-huh.
And I can guarantee you that person has failed. Some point in his or her life, that person has failed. But the thing is, you don't see it. What you see is this person is successful. Yeah, apparently, but what's the price that he paid to get that success?
Ah.
The price that he paid is a lot of failures in the past.
Uh-huh.
That's the price. But you don't see it. That's the thing. You don't see it. So you assume, this person success macam tu je. No, nobody's like that.
But that's
So
interesting because when macam you see any person's profile kan, it's all a list of successes, but you rarely ever see, or I don't think there's anyone who actually lists his failures first instead of success first kan. So then like let's look at your profile. I put here as an international news speaker, a best-selling author. These are all successes, but I don't think anybody would promote themselves as failures. What do you think about
yeah,
this?
like in the three things that you mentioned, you didn't mention like I failed my talks a few times. You didn't mention that.
Oh,
You didn't mention that. Oh, one of my book did not sell well. You didn't mention that.
oh,
And like being a father, you did not mention that that before I married my wife, there's three other women that didn't work out.
oh. Okay, this
Yeah,
is
it's
this is
it,
something.
it's it's not being mentioned because what you see is the end result. You don't see the process.
So,
So if you want to live life in its actuality,
mhm.
live life in its reality, you have to focus on the process, not the result. The
Ah.
process. See? So the process entails you have to try a lot of things, you have to fail, you have to make mistakes, not deliberately, of course. None of this is deliberate, but it's part of the natural experience of the process. And when you do that, you just have to learn from each failure.
Mm.
Failure, people are afraid of failure. I mean, one thing that I think failure has a lot of stigma lah with failure.
Uh-huh.
Just like mental health, there's a lot of stigma with mental health.
Ah,
There's
yes,
a lot of a
yes.
lot of stigma with failure as well, because people see failure as like this. I like to put it this way: people see failure as a gravestone, like
Ooh.
mampui hang, boom, situ mampui lah. But you need to flip it. You need to see failure as a stepping stone, where
Oh.
you are just merely have this R&R stop,
Mm-hmm.
where you made a mistake. You just have to learn from it. Maybe take a rest.
Mm-hmm.
Just have to keep on going. It's just a stepping stone for something greater. But that stepping stone, you need to step on it.
Mm-hmm.
That's when you get higher.
Wow, wow. I have to process this. This is like, something that You don't hear people talking about this often, especially in school. Kind of the moment you fail, oh, you're stupid, you're dumb, you need pemulihan and all that. They don't focus on failures in a good way.
That's the thing. That's the thing. You need to have your own set of KPI.
Okay.
So people will impose their KPI on you, which is normal. It's natural. It's part of life. You can't escape it. People will impose their KPI on you. KPI means key performance index, meaning their criteria
The
for
standards
success.
basically lah.
Yeah, yeah. And you need it. There's a functional use in it.
Uh-huh.
However, at the same time, individually, you should set your own KPI because you know your capabilities, roughly
Mm-hmm.
speaking, not all your capabilities that you know of, but you know like, okay, this is my limit. This is what I can do, this is what I cannot do. So at least you know some
Ah.
some things about yourself. You know your parameters.
All right,
You
all right.
just need to set what are my expectations of myself?
Mm-hmm.
What are my goals for myself? Those
All
are the
right.
things you need to set for yourself. So, regardless of what people judge you for, you need to look back at your own KPI. Am I
Mm-hmm.
achieving my KPI? Another example that I can give you, Nazarick, is
Uh-huh.
like your students. I'm sure some of your students are devastated when they get a B or a C in the exam, right?
Yeah, true.
And they usually say, alamak, kawan aku dapat A, aku dapat B.
I think we all go through that, right? In some point, kan?
Exactly, exactly. And psychologically speaking, that's not good. Number one, you're not making a fair comparison.
Mm-hmm.
That's not a fair comparison. What do I mean by fair comparison? Look at your life, look at your friend's life. Are they the same?
No, no two lives are the same.
No two lives are the same. So you can't just simply say the result of this life is the same as the result of this life,
Uh-huh.
because both life are different. Like if this person gets an A, you have no idea the process that this person goes through, the kind of background that he has, the kind of education that he has prior to this, the kind of friendship that he has around him, the kind of family problems at home that he may or may not have. And
Uh-huh.
compare that to you. You have your own problems, you have your own social economic background, you have your own upbringing, your own neighborhood, your own this, your own that.
Mm-hmm.
So you can't compare apples to apples there because they're not apples.
Mm-hmm.
They're apples and
They're
durian or something
different.
like that.
Oh, durian. That's a very random one. It's nice you
So,
mentioned that because such a okay. Go on, go on, go on.
so the question is, what is a fair comparison? Because that
Ah,
that's that comparison not fair, kan? Okay, okay. Now, what's the fair comparison?
that's
The
a good
fair
one.
the fair comparison is compare yourself today with yourself yesterday.
Ooh.
That's a fair comparison because you both have the same life.
Yeah, it's yourself, but is it a are you have you changed within that time limit or have you
Yeah. If you
okay.
somehow improve 1 inch from yesterday, that is a success. Tapi you kata,
Wow.
alah, 1 inci je. Yeah, 1 inch of improvement is an improvement. It is a success. You can't expect to change 100% in a day. So you have to be realistic with how you measure yourself. Some people are so unrealistic with how they measure themselves. They end up being disappointed with themselves, even though they actually made an improvement.
True, true.
They have
Wow.
that unrealistic expectation of themselves. So they sabotage their own life.
And I like you mentioned, just an inch, you actually make a big deal of an inch because if you read the Quran, the term, what's the verse? فَمَنْ يَعْمَلْ مِثْقَالَ ذَرَّةٍ خَيْرًا يَرَهُ.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
even to God, an atom is a big deal.
Exactly, exactly. All these things are part of the teaching of the Quran as well. So it's if you look at how Allah judge us and how people judge us, it's
Mm-hmm.
very different. Allah judge us by our effort. People judge us by our results.
Mm-hmm.
And we can't change that. It's just a part of life. But us as individuals, the way we carry ourselves in the world, we have to anchor ourselves
Uh-huh.
with how Allah will judge us.
True, true.
Because if we anchor ourselves with how people will judge us, whew,
Ooh.
lots of disappointments will come your way.
Yeah, like I feel there's a culture for example, like when you get students results kan, and then mesti some people will say, oh, my neighbor's son did better, why can't you do this, for example. That has become a culture, sadly kan.
Because I'm not that neighbor's son. That's the answer. Because I'm not that neighbor's son. I'm your son.
But
Why you? Why you calling me the neighbor's son?
Some fail to realize that, right? Unfortunately.
Yeah, yeah. Plus, as a parent juga lah. I mean, I reflect this on my own son juga. I don't want to reduce my son to a trophy.
Ah,
I hope that I will never do that. I
I
don't
hope
want
so
to.
too.
I hope I don't want to reduce my son to a trophy. But I realize that I have that tendency. You know,
Hmm.
you already have that tendency, but you have to be aware of it. That's the key. You have to be aware of it and you have to counter it. Like for example, I compare my son with other children, of course,
Mhm.
and I'll be like, "Ha, my son is better." You have that tendency, but you just have to be aware of it and just counter it immediately when you realize it.
Mhm. Wow, wow. And okay, so in the process of this whole thing, people will struggle, and I think I was mentioning about therapy earlier. So what's your view on people seeking help? Because we have this tendency to condemn those who need help. Like for example, oh, I need help to manage my time, and then people say, oh, you don't know how to arrange ke? Or for example, like cases like, oh, I need help, I'm getting depressed. Oh, kau depressed, kau tak kuat iman ke? What's your perspective on this?
Well, to those who do think like that, if you start saying there's something wrong with people seeking help, then you are opening a door that will close all doors of opportunities for change.
Wow.
Because and this is the reason, because everybody needs help sometimes, everybody including you.
Mhm.
Just because you don't need help with a certain thing doesn't mean that when other people need help with that thing you judge them,
Mhm.
because you need help in something that other people don't need help for.
Yeah.
Like if you judge somebody for seeking help go to the counselor, then at the same time you are judging somebody who goes to the doctor because he feels demam sikit ke apa ke. Because it's the same thing, those two people are seeking help because they have problems. But why is it that you judge this person who goes to the counselor but you don't judge this person who goes to the doctor?
Uh-huh.
Because your understanding is skewed when it comes to people who seek help because they have depression or whatnot. You
Uh-huh.
don't see it as a problem. You see it as a thing that you can judge, a thing that you can like aim your gun at and just shoot,
Mhm.
which is not a healthy thing if you want to progress in life. So you really need to reevaluate how you view help.
Ah.
Everybody needs help, and not everybody has the same problem.
Mhm.
Just because you don't have the problem that other people have,
Mhm.
do not judge them,
True.
because one day you will have a problem that they don't have. Do
Mm.
you want them to judge you? Ask yourself that question.
Wow. That's like it's a bit philosophical in nature, but that actually makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, it's not that philosophical, it's just compassionately logical.
Nice way to put it. Compassionate, logical. All right.
You just need to think two steps ahead beyond your own ego, then you will see it.
Ah. All right. So we're almost at the end of the show. We really talked a lot. So
Phew.
wow, that was really productive, right?
Yeah, alhamdulillah.
So any final words of wisdom for you before we wrap things up?
I realize that a lot of people who are watching this are students, so and young people. So
Mhm.
I'm just gonna say a few things. Number one, you need to figure out what you want to do with your life, and you
Uh-huh.
have to make that decision. You have to make that decision, and once you figure out even if you don't figure it out, at least have an idea lah, a vague idea pun tak apa. Because if you want to shoot, you have to first aim.
Uh-huh.
You need something to aim at. So even if your goal is still vague ke apa ke, it's fine, as at least have a goal.
Mhm.
Have a goal. And then when you have a goal, try to achieve that goal. And if in the process you realize, that's not the right goal, it's okay, because you're not in the same place as you were before.
Mhm.
And that is not nothing, that is something, meaning you have progress in some way.
All
So
right.
have a goal, and then you have to break that goal down into your schedule, your
Uh,
day-to-day schedule, because at the end of the day it all boils down to the minutes and the hours of your day. In the beginning it's going to seem quite intimidating, because it's going to seem like it's a lot of work.
mhm.
But if you think that your life is worth planning for,
Uh-huh.
you will try your best to actually go through it and do it and plan
Wow.
it and actually schedule your day properly. And it takes time. It's not like an overnight thing. It takes time. So be patient with yourself.
Mm.
That's it.
Yeah, be patient with yourself. I think that's a very great way to end it, because that's the one thing we lose patience with ourselves. We can be
Yeah,
patient with people
true.
giving us a lot of crap and stuff, but when it comes to ourselves, we just lose it. Wow, wow.
Yeah, be kind to yourself, just like you would a best friend.
Wow. Okay. Thank you so much, Aiman, for joining the show. Great to have you. We'll
My
catch up
pleasure.
someday. Maybe we might have a second appearance. You don't know how it goes. All right. We
Maybe,
don't know,
maybe we'll
right?
see.
Okay.
We'll see. We'll see. Thank you very much for having me.
Before
Yeah.
I hang up the call, so this is just for everyone to know. So Aiman has published quite a few books. What's your first book, by the way, Aiman?
The
If you want to
first
talk
book
about that,
was in 2014, Hidup Penuh Erti,
with
and the
Hilal Ashraf,
latest
right?
book is last year. Yeah, with Hilal Ashraf, and the latest book is last year called Unshakable: How to Be Confident When You're Nervous.
So that means the total
And
you have 3 or 4 books right now. I
I
think
have
it's
four books in total. I think the fifth one will be out this year, inshallah. So do pray for that.
fifth one. We'll pray for that. All right. So we have a special giveaway today, actually, a very, very
Yeah,
special one to encourage people to read. And, who knows, to be inspired to read and all that, and maybe write something equally as good or better than what Ayman does. So we're going to have a giveaway of three of Ayman's books. We're going to have, what's the one you wrote with Amin Misran again? Other
Oh,
Side of
the
the
other
Coin.
side of the coin.
Other Side of the Coin, and then we're going to give away Unshakable, and we're going to have Hidup Penuh Erti. We're going to give three. We're going to give away 3 books. All right. So how it's going to work is that after I end the call with Ayman, I'll put all the names of those who participated in chat. Yes. So your chat interaction, you guys get rewarded for participating. So we have Putri Nur Aina, we have Shafin, we have Narwalism, Walls Killer, we have, I think there's a Hans 8800. So I'll put their names through a randomizer, and then one of them will be the lucky winner.
Cool.
I'll contact you, and then the books will be sent your way. That's a
Awesome,
special
awesome.
thing about this show. So it's not just going to be a normal show. There are some perks as well for participating. All right. So anyway, okay. Thank you, Ayman, for being a part of this. So
My
be sure to
pleasure.
catch our next episode. Our next episode, I'm still finalizing the details. I have a few suggestions from people to get some figures and all that, but I'm in the process of getting a psychiatrist to be featured on the show.
Cool.
And I'm also I got somebody who studied no I got somebody who specializes in gender studies, a lecturer in gender studies from UF, who already agreed to be on the show. Just getting the schedules right, time management there. But we'll see how it goes. I'll have more detail on my social media. All right, so thank you, Aiman. So signing off for you. I'll catch up
Yeah.
with you later. Thank you, man, and good luck with taking care of your child. Be a great father to him.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right,
Inshallah. Thank
all
you.
right.
Goodbye, everybody. Assalamualaikum.
Okay, salam. So, all right. Thank you, Ayman. And all right. So we have the rest of you guys here in chat. So I'm going to be choosing our live winner right now. Okay, let me just open some sort of randomizer software. So yeah, I had a few suggestions in my previous stream to get Danish Haras. What do you guys think of that? Getting Danish Haras on the show. I think that's a really crazy idea. I forgot. I'll check my diary later. Who suggested the idea? Because there were some crazy ideas. Any suggestions for the next speaker? I do have the next speaker almost confirmed, but I'm always open to more suggestions. I do aim to produce at least 8 episodes of the Nazriq Ahmad Show. So let's see. Let's get my randomizer ready. And I gotta get the names all ready. All right. So we will be fair. So I'll put all names here. So we have Hans 8880. We have Normalism. Everybody stands a chance at winning this. Okay, we have Walls Killer. Thank you for participating. And let's see, we have Ahmad Shafin who said hello. And we have Putri, not Aina. Okay. So randomize. All right. So I want to make this one live, so I want to show how fair the process is. So let me put a window capture. I'll show exactly how I choose. I'll capture my randomizer. Okay, you guys can see I'm putting a randomizer page here. By the way, what do you think of the chat being on my stream itself? So it's both on the sidebar and the stream itself. So now you can actually, when this thing is back on YouTube, you can actually see the whole flow of the chat when it's re-uploaded. Okay, we're going to randomize the name. This is completely random. So whoever name is at the top will win 3 books. And let's randomize it in 3, 2, 1. All right, so in first place is Walls Killer. So Walls Killer, you are the winner of the giveaway, and you will be getting 3 of Aiman Azlan's books in your way. All right, so I will contact you to get your details and enjoy the books from Aiman. So yeah, we will have more giveaways in the future. Who knows? Let's just make the stream fun. All right, so some stream plans and some stream announcements. Before I end this, I need to actually go for a class soon. All right, by the grace of God, I've just been promoted to Twitch affiliate status. Woohoo! So I'm going to have more perks on my channels for future subscribers. I'm going to unveil my custom emotes and symbols and stuff like that for subscribers. We're going to have perks. And if you notice, I am slowly redesigning the graphics in my channel and all that. So if you notice, yeah, even the current screen, I've actually modified the font. Although the background right now is dark, it's actually a space background with stars and planets, but I guess I set the contrast a bit too dark so you guys can't see what's in the background, unfortunately. So yeah, I've been promoted to affiliate. Please bring the hype up. Who knows, I get partner status. I'm not making that like a be all end all, like if I don't become a partner I will die and stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, it's a great thing, so thanks for the support. Being an affiliate is like a crazy thing. I never imagined this hobby will lead me somewhere. All right, this weekend I'm gonna go back serious into speed running, which is something I haven't done in a long time. So I'll be trying to beat my record for games like Donkey Kong Country 3. Yes, I haven't streamed it in a long time. Some of my friends have been bugging me about that. And I'll be doing some of the Kaizo Mario stuff again, and then maybe we'll get a Metal Gear Solid speedrun attempt. That's something I've been working in my free time. All right, so I've got a class to teach soon, actually. And guys, what do you think of weekday streams? Since I do have a lot of in between time, right? So I was like, hey, how do I utilize this time rather than just waste it away? Why not, do some helpful things? So I might even do solo Nazriq Ahmad shows where I might discuss a certain academic topic or share tips and stuff. We'll see how that goes. Anyway, signing off, and congratulations to Walls Killer for winning the giveaway. And yeah, Donkey Kong, yes, Narwhalism. Hype, hype, hype. And yeah, I'm still thinking of what to use for the emotes because Twitch actually has a form where I can submit what kind of emotes should I use for this. Oh yeah, my students, well, they're downstairs. It's just a close by class, so and yeah. Anyway, Nazriq here, signing off. Hope you enjoyed the show. And this episode, along with the previous episode, will soon be up on YouTube, maybe tomorrow or on Wednesday. We'll see how that goes. Thanks for tuning in. I'm Nazriq, signing off.